Adventures in Mortuary Archaeology and Commemoration. It's Archaeodeath.
Archaeodeath things. It's Archaeology Professor Howard Williams here at a rainy Heysham Festival with some of the best and most awesome and kick-ass reenactors in the universe who are also expert archaeologists. And I'm going to talk to one of them. This is Adam of Blue Axe Reproductions.
Hello.
Adam, can you tell us something about the cool Viking reproduction objects you've got on your person or nearby?
Well, I've got loads of stuff on my person, but actually this is one that's been made by myself, and this is from Silverdale, which is only 15 miles, 10 miles that way.
So that is a reproduction of a 10th century
silver armoury.
From a place called Silverdale, which is kind of apposite, isn't it, really?
It wasn't found at Silverdale, top tip there.
Oh, it's a nearby.
Technically it was nearby to Silverdale, but yeah, so it's made out of silver. Obviously I've got this stamp pattern on the outside. These are probably Irish, actually, the decoration on them.
It's amazing.
They've been formed, they look quite chunky, but actually they're sort of hollow inside. They've been formed into a shape. If you go over to my TikTok channel, you'll actually see some images of me working on these, and same on my YouTube channel, actually, of making these from scratch. But they seem to be found all around the Irish Sea region, sometimes intact like this one, and sometimes hacked up. So at Cuerdale near Preston, there's some fragments of some of these that have been chopped in half and flattened to use as currency.
So just to be absolutely crystal clear, Adam is not only a professional archaeologist who digs this kind of stuff up, he then reproduces it. So he knows literally everything about the Viking Age and Viking material culture. And this, I've never seen a reproduction of this before, and it is absolutely fantastic.
Quite heavy as well, isn't it?
Wow. That is proper bling. Proper bling.
So in today's money, several £100 worth of silver in that.
You could buy a couple of long ships with no, probably not actually.
Possibly a helmet.
You could buy a helmet.
Or half a chainmail shirt.
Yeah. Or a couple of ales. Thank you so much, Adam. That's really cool.
Cheers.
And these wonderful Vikings are going to tell me all about some Viking stuff. Hi folks.
Hello.
About these reproduction objects you've got here. So who is it first of all? We've got Adam.
Yeah.
I'm Trix.
Yeah.
I hang around with Adam, and I also study the Great Army. I'm another archaeologist.
In other words, you are a literal expert in Viking material culture, Viking period material culture, and you've got a co-author book. And just to be absolutely lay it on thick, because people don't believe I'm talking to experts unless I absolutely crystal clear. Sorry about that, to put you in the embarrassing position, but lovely to see you both, a professional archaeologist and experts on material culture from the Viking Age. So tell me what you got here, please, folks.
So we've got that arm ring. You may have seen it in another video, and this is from Silverdale, just up the road. And arm rings like this were often hacked up as a form of currency. So Trix here has got a lot of different examples, so he can talk you through those bits.
Yeah, so particularly with studying the Great Army, they were very instrumental in bringing this hack metal economy into Britain. And what you have is things like these arm rings would be hacked up. Sometimes you just find them squashed like this. I think that's a way of monetarizing them, stopping them being jewelry. Then they get chopped up, they get turned into little pieces. And these tiny bits of silver, some of them really minuscule, little bits of dirham, little fragments of
Penannular brooch.
Penannular brooch. It's a bossed penannular. This is a Pictish one. That's based on an example from the National Museum of Scotland.
Yeah.
You even get things like that's a boss at the centre of the cross. This is an Irish thing called a bullion ring, which we start finding with the Great Army, and they then cross the Irish Sea and travel west.
So all of this, just to be absolutely reiterate, all of these are reproduction objects, but they're absolutely precise to the kinds of things we find in that Irish Sea world, that northern British world, where the Scandinavians are raiding, trading, and they're using this hack silver, breaking up objects, and ingots,
Bits of armouring. This is a vague copy of one from Texel in the Netherlands. Yeah, it is. So the thing we see very much with the Great Army is, as well as using silver, they start using copper alloy, and they'll be using it on things like, we've just had a tangle. Oh, there we go. Travelling scales. Now we have these in a couple of the Great Army camps, fragments of these, or broken ones of these, from Torksey and from Aldwark, which are the winter camps of the Great Army. And we know there that they are trading in hacked gold, which is really rare at the time, trading in hacked silver, just like we've been looking at here, and also trading in these kind of pieces, hacked copper alloy. And so this is very much a Great Army activity of chopping up pins, strap ends, various bits of jewellery. This one has been wrenched off a shrine. We haven't hacked that one up yet. And also stikers, Northumbrian stikers they were using a lot. Bits of brooches.
So the stikers are the Northumbrian copper alloy coins, aren't they?
Yes.
And they're still banging around. Oh, here we are. Right, so this is the currency of the Northumbrian kingdom, but right up to when the Scandinavians caused chaos.
Yes, one of the arguments that we're trying to put forward or bring in the book, which a few other people have said, is we think the Great Army may actually be making their own stikers. And so they seem to have adopted this. At the end of the stiker series, you get what we call the blundered stikers. And in the past, these were seen as being products of the Northumbrian Civil War that the Great Army exploited when they took over. But we now think, because there are so many stikers in the Great Army camps, they are using them as trade, because they also trade in these little tiny fragments of chopped up insular metal, that we call it, this beautifully decorated stuff. That's actually Scandinavian, a bit of an oval brooch. The rest of it is incredibly detailed, incredibly fine, better than anything you get in Scandinavia. And they seem to have attached a big sort of social capital to this stuff. So this is traded, but they also use it along with the scales in another way. I think Adam can talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so the remains of these bits here, these objects, sometimes they're traded as Trix says, but occasionally they're then incorporated into lead weights, which are used with the scales that's been demonstrated over there. So here's some examples of the lead weights. I'll get these out for you. And these would be put on one side of the scales there, with the item you're weighing, such as silver or whatever, on the other side. Now the way they make these is to take one of these hacked up pieces and then place it in the bottom of a clay mould like this. So that's a fragment of copper alloy like that that's been put in the bottom of the mould.
Yeah.
And a little bit of flux is placed on it. And then liquid lead is poured into this mould. And then when that's cooled, you smash the whole mould, and what comes out is one of these. And that's how they're made.
And in fact, with this one, you can see a little bit of where the lead has flowed around that piece set in the bottom of the clay.
Oh, yes.
So this, although it's a reproduction, you see that on the originals, which is one of the reasons we know this is the process they made it as.
So all these objects, they come from Britain and Ireland, they've been hacked up, they've been used as currency, and then they've been incorporated into the very weights that are being used to trade with as well.
Wonderful. So where can people find you guys online?
I'm on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, all social media, usually as Blue Axe Reproductions.
And I can be found on Blue Sky as Trix, where I talk about the Great Army and archaeology in North Yorkshire.
Thank you both, and thank you for the scale perspective. So there you are, all the expert views here from the Heysham Viking Festival. Thanks, guys.
Follow ArchaeoDeath on YouTube, TikTok, WordPress, and a host of other social media.